all of you are doing fine today. Let me start by dropping a few questions for you guys. What makes you guys happy? Kilala nyo ba yung sarili nyo at alam nyo ba kung ano nagpapasaya sa inyo? Kung oo, ano ang mga ito? Jowa daw. You mean temporary happiness? Ganun. Char. X yun. Let's not be subjective. Pero pwede na pwede. It could be another person. It could be things. Or it could be your work. You're going to ask me, no? Ano papasaya sa akin? Pera. Char. But it's undeniable na you can make some of us happy. One thing I know for sure is that in terms of happiness, we all differ in that aspect. Now, with all that, how will you guys define happiness naman? Ano para sa inyong happiness? Achievable ba? Na-achieve nyo na ba? Or pag temporary lang ba ang saya, considered siya as happiness? Well, if you're going to ask me personally, no? What makes me happy is doing the things I want and improving at the field I excel at. And happiness is the satisfaction I feel out of it. Siyempre, no, sino ba namang hindi masaya pag nagagawa nila yung gusto nila? By that, let me introduce myself first. I'm Missy Picardo, under the group assigned to report one of the topics of the mini-theories exploring the facets of personality. Now, bakit siya tinawag na mini-theories? Well, that's because it focuses more on a small particular aspect of development. Ibig sabihin, it tries to explain a specific part sa behavior at development ng isang tao. Now, these theories are rooted from the grand theories. Pag sinabi natin grand theories, ito yung mga major theories natin. Ito yung mga proposed by Freud, Piaget, the cognitive theory, and the psychoanalytic theory, and also the theory under the humanistic approach. Ibig sabihin na yung ideas natin sa mini-theories natin ay influenced by the major theories. So, sabihin na lang natin na ang major theories natin is itong mga Asian countries. And kumuha tayo ng isang bansa among the Asian countries at yun ang mini-theories natin. A specific part lang siya. But that mini-theories do not describe or explain a whole development or behavior of an individual and just a particular aspect of it. One of our mini-theories regarding aspects of personality is positive psychology, which is the subject of this discussion. Here we have our topic outline to give you a clue of the content of our discussion. I will give you guys an overview regarding positive psychology. Matatakil din natin kung sino ang founder nito at yung theory and methods na under niya. I will try my best na ipaliwanag siya, no, yung maintindihan natin lahat. Here we have positive psychology, and pag sinabi natin positive psychology, maraming kalat na definition yan. Although sa mga definition na yun, hindi naman nagkaiba yung methods nila, ang accepted definition pa din is positive psychology is the scientific study of what makes life worth living. So ano ba ang main concern nila? Of course, based on the definition itself, that is to increase the well-being and the self-worth of an individual. And as a science, they explore areas and test different hypotheses in order to improve lives. So positive psychology is relatively new, no? And it's founded on the belief that people want to lead a meaningful and fulfilling life, to cultivate what is best within themselves, and to enhance their experience of work, love, and play. One of its goals is to make life more fulfilling as it explores the human potential. Familiar ba yung thoughts niya? It sounds familiar, right? Kasi kung babalikan natin yung mga subjects natin from our former years, theories and personality, and to psychology both mention the humanistic approach, which is considered a soft psychology because it has a positive view towards humanity, as it has the desire for a person to grow. As you can see, there are ideas in positive psychology that are echoed from the proponents of the humanistic perspective like Carl Rogers and Abraham Maslow. And to inform you guys, Abraham Maslow is the first one to use the term positive psychology during the 1950s. But let's not stop there kasi sa part na yan may nangyayari.
Contrasting.
Pero for now, i-note muna natin siya. Kasi at the end of this discussion, ilalapag ko yung mga criticism ng positive psychology. According to Seligman, psychology should deal with the best of human functioning, happiness, excellence, and optimal human growth. Or should we say, should also deal with the best of human functioning. But should also, kasi according kay Seligman, ang psychology daw, focus siya masyado sa what is wrong with an individual and not enough on what is right. And in his years in psychology, he came into a realization. Naisip niya na psychology should study what makes happy people happy. Ano pang ibig niya sabihin doon? He further elaborate what the goal of psychology should be. And the first one is, psychology should be concerned with strength as with weakness. Bakit daw sa weakness lang nakafocus? Bakit hindi bigyang pansin din yung strength ng individual? Now, making the usual question, what is wrong with you, to what is right with you? As it should be, interested in building the best things in life, as in repairing the worst, which is the second goal he stated. For the third one, psychology should be concerned with making the lives of normal people fulfilling and with nurturing high talents, as with healing pathology. If you're familiar sa scale natin, the high and the low-end scale, wherein nag-fall sa low-end ng scale natin yung mga taong may self-issues or experiencing pathologies. Usually, ang focus ng psychology is yung mga nasa low-end ng scale. Pero sabi ni positive psychology, why not both? Why not boost the high-end as well? Isa kasi sa idea nila na kahit nasa high-end ng scale ang isang individual, or kahit na stable siya, hindi pa rin masasabi na fulfilling or satisfying yung life na meron siya. Kung kaya tatanungin, do you think therapy is limited lang to those individuals na may self-issues and experiencing mental illness? Ganun yung point ng perspective nila. Even the stable ones can be troubled, thus can possibly fall at the end of the scale. Now, those ideas signaled the opening of the new perspective in psychology, the positive psychology. While many other branches of psychology tend to focus on the dysfunction and abnormal behavior, the positive psychology, on the other hand, is centered on helping people become happier. Though iba yung perspective ng positive psychology, hindi ibig sabihin nun na oppose sila sa mga nauna or ibang approaches or mga theory, no? As they are trying to complement it. And over the past 2 decades, they continue to grow steadily. We have here the founder of positive psychology, Martin Elias Peter Seligman. He has a broad range of experience in psychological field, and he is known to be the father of modern positive psychology. The positive psychology's advancement began at Seligman's term as a president of the American Psychological Association, also known as the APA. He uses it as a theme for his term as a president and began as a formal discipline. Major proponents of the psychology also include the psychologists Christopher Peterson and Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi. Here we have a short info about his early life. Martin Seligman was born on August 12, 1942, in New York. In 1964, he attended the Princeton University, where he earned his AB degree. In 1967, he earned his Doctor of Philosophy in the University of Pennsylvania. Martin Seligman's journey in this new field of psychology started off with his study of learned helplessness. In testing his theory, started experimenting using dogs. Ito yung experimentation ni Seligman na ginamitan niya ng mild electric shock yung different groups ng aso to justify how learned helplessness work. Now, familiar ba kayo sa experimentation na yon? If hindi, bibigyan ko kayo ng short background about it. So, yung mga aso under ng experimental group, may 2 groups tayo ng aso, the experimental and the control group. Yung mga aso under ng experimental group ay naka-receive ng treatment bago yung main experiment. They administered electric shock while they are being harnessed, which prevent them from escaping. Nung nilagay na yung 2 group ng aso sa magkaibang compartment, pero same place naman, para bigyan ulit ng electric shock, the controlled group, gumawa sila ng way to escape. While the experimental group, ayun, tinis lang nila yung kuryente. Andun lang sila sa compartment. Bakit kaya, no? Kasi, na-audition yung mind nila na it's impossible to escape dahil naka-receive nga sila ng treatment beforehand. Yun yung ganap sa experiment na, no? Seligman then defined learned helplessness, a term specifying an organism learning to accept and endure unpleasant stimuli and unwilling to avoid them even when it's avoidable. After his early researches, he has since become one of the most cited psychologists, not only in positive psychology but also psychology in general. Kayo ba naka-experience na kayo ng pagsubok sa buhay na feeling nyo di nyo kaya ma-overcome? Kung oo, tapos wala kayong ginawa about it, then that's when you learned how to be helpless. Dahil di mo sinubukan, pag naka-experience ka ulit ng ganon, paulit-ulit mo siyang iiwasan. Paulit-ulit yung iiwasan yung situation. Now that's learned helplessness, mga mahal. And I encourage everyone not to learn helplessness and strive for the better. It's okay to rest, but don't ever give up. Now we have the different areas explored by positive psychology. First, I would like you to know that positive psychology teaches how to harness the power of shifting, not this one. But this one, the power of shifting one's perspective to maximize the potential for happiness in many of our everyday behavior. So, paano po yan? How can they guide individuals to harness the power of shifting one's perspective? Ibig sabihin, in terms of shifting one's perspective, they encourage and assist individuals na mag-focus sa part ng life nila na they can control or can manage. Bakit, no? Simple lang. If under control natin ang situation, kahit na maharap tayo sa difficulties nito or mag-fail, we can withstand it or recover from it. In short, resilience, dear people. Now, when talking about control, I know alam nyo na to and narinig nyo na siya. Ilang beses na rin siya na-discuss. We have two, the internal and the external locus of control. Now, if you understand that concept, alam nyo kung bakit importante na may control tayo over our lives. Okay, so in moving our focus, we can engage with life, find its meaning, and have greater satisfaction. Now, the concept of positive psychology is based on the belief that happiness is derived from both emotional and mental factors. According to them, happiness has both rational and emotional aspects. The research also uncovered a variety of factors that can influence happiness. Now, as we move on sa mga factors na nakaka-apekto sa happiness ng isang tao, I want you to identify kung saang category kayo nagfo-fall. Okay, the first one is money. Yan, nabanggit ko lang yan kanina. You're going to ask me, no, ano nagpapasaya sa akin? Pera. Now, money. Ayan. Pera, unang-una siya sa list natin. Totoo ba, guys? So, itong binibigay kong explanation, ano na lang siya? Paliwanag na lang kung paano or kung bakit siya napabilang sa characteristic and causes ng happiness. Now, according sa study under ng positive psychology, may hangganan ang happiness na kayang ibigay ng pera. If stable ang tao financially, yung pera common na lang yan sa kanya. Pero kung halimbawa, lowang income ng isang tao, tapos may pa-bonus si boss, that can bring happiness to that person. Having money leads to happiness, but lack of it leads to unhappiness. Paano ba itong sinasabi natin na financially stable? Dapat ba anak ng mafia boss?
I'm the mafia.
Ganon? Hindi. Kasi natin yung financially stable ang isang tao, meaning tuloy-tuloy yung pasok ng pera sa kanyang life. And by that, magiging common na sa kanya ang pera, tama? Nananaig pa rin talaga ang katagang money can't buy happiness. Now, next, we have the physical attractiveness. Under siya. Physical attractiveness, pangalawa. Now, kung papipiliin kayo, pera o itsura, pili. Anyways, ang physical attractiveness ay kasama sa cause of happiness ng tao kasi, according sa study nila, pag physically attractive ang isang tao, maraming opportunities para sa kanya. Pwedeng job opportunities or could be partner. Sino ba namang
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine.
Totoo
You're
naman.
not really fine, but you
You know,
just can't get into
kung
it.
physically attractive ng isang tao, sino ba namang tatanggi? Sadly, may discrimination na nangyari sa ating society. The third one, we have the health. Health is wealth, yes. Of course, yung health puhunan natin sa buhay yan, may it be sa study natin as a student and sa work. Siyempre, kung magkakasakit tayo, guys, maapektuhan yung mga ganap sa buhay natin. So, stay healthy. Hindi lahat ng healthy people ay masaya, pero kung isipin natin, kung masaya ang isang tao, then makakontribute yun sa health niya. Vice versa, no? If you're healthy, you can be happy. If you're happy, it can contribute sa health mo. Marami pang causes ang happiness, no? Pero hindi ko na siya isa-isahin pa kasi mapapahaba tayo. Pero don't worry, no? Under na din kasi ito ng topic ng isa sa groupmates ko. Pero kung gusto niyo siyang basahin, guys, on your own, available siya sa 11th edition ng Tears of Personality book, page 395. Now, the remaining causes sa list natin ay age, kasama yung age, adolescence, older people, marriage and social support, culture, the geography, sabi na where you live is important para maging happy ka. Now, the race and ethnicity, personality, self-efficacy, and internal locus of control, thinking positively, and your goals. Now we have the core theory and method under the positive psychology. Napalo dito kung paano na-define yung happiness, and based on this, merong 3 dimension ang happiness. Now, paano ba define ng positive psychology ang happiness? They define happiness as the experience of joy, contentment, or positive well-being combined with a sense that one's life is good, meaningful, and worthwhile. Now, Seligman extended his ideas to positive psychology and the factors that influence subjective well-being. He theorized what makes a happy life. In theorizing what makes a happy life, he came up with the 3 dimensions of happiness.
A short clip explaining the concept of 3-dimension of happiness. Do you remember how the hierarchy of needs work?
In order to achieve the highest level, the rest of the level serves as a ladder to the top.
If you remember how it works, then this will be a piece of cake to you. The final stage in the 3 dimensions of happiness is achieving true happiness and life satisfaction, but in order to do that, we need to experience or attain the first 2 stages. First we have the pleasant life. The pleasant life is realized if we learn to savor and appreciate such basic pleasures as companionship, the natural environment, and our bodily needs. To simply put, finding enjoyment on what we currently have and being contented, helps us learn to be positive in every aspect of our life. Failing to do so, we might get stuck on it, but attaining it means we moved on to the second stage, the good life. The good life is achieved through discovering our unique virtues and strengths, and employing them creatively to enhance our lives. The first stage enables us to be optimistic in different areas. Now that we moved on to the second stage, the characteristic that we learn will be put in use. The good life is when we try to engage with life more and it gives us the chance to see what we are capable of. How do we engage with life? We engage with people, environment, and the things we do, also known as achieving flow. Flow is when we started to get immersed in what we do. Achieving these can enhance our lives and those around us. Finally, we reach the final stage. The final stage is a meaningful life, in which we find a deep sense of fulfillment by employing our unique strengths for a purpose greater than ourselves. Do you have an idea on what it means to have purpose greater than ourselves? It means that our goals and success are no longer pointed towards ourselves. We dedicate it to a much larger goal concerning the whole. According to what I've read, the sense of purpose is what we feel when we contribute to the well-being of others. And the sense of happiness is what others feel through us. That's how we achieved purpose. A meaningful and satisfying life.
Si Seligman, paano niya ba justify itong happiness? Now, Seligman further investigate the meaning of life and what well-being is. And sa kanyang pag-investigate, para masukat ang happiness, he came up with this model, the PERMA model. So, itong PERMA model, acronym siya. Acronym for the 5 elements of the well-being na babanggitin natin. P stands for paos na ako. Joke.
Stop it. Get some help.
The P in the PERMA stands for the positive emotion. Now, positive emotion, it's all about positivity, no? Kung hindi maganda yung nangyari sa past mo, sabi ng positive psychology, huwag mo nang balikan yung past mo. Jowa daw. Para happiness. You need to move on and be thankful, no? Sa naranasan mo sa nakaraan mo kung hindi man yun maganda. Kasi kung hindi dahil doon, hindi ka ganito sa present. Now, the E stands for the E in the PERMA stands for engagement or achieving flow. Achieving flow with enjoyable activities and hobbies. So the R stands for the relationship or forming social connections with family or with friends. The M stands for the meaning or finding a purpose in life larger than you. The A stands for accomplishments or goals and success. The PERMA model is used by Seligman in order to measure what happiness truly is. Bago tayo magtapos, I want you to hear some facts about Martin Seligman. Facts that you need to know about him is that in 2010, he ranked himself among the lowest 30% of people in terms of positive feelings and emotions. So, I think the reason why he ranked himself at that place, the lowest 30%, is because despite all his success and the celebrity status, he admitted that he is rarely happy in the sense of being joyful. When Seligman was 13, his father suffered a severe stroke that disabled him and rendered him almost helpless. So, studying and learned helplessness now. Even him experienced a situation wherein he found himself helpless. Now, there are different kinds of happiness, and he is one of those who find their deepest satisfaction in being fully engaged in work. Most of the students sa school na pinasukan ni Martin Seligman came from a wealthy, upper-class families. It's made him feel like an outsider. So, yun na yung mga kinuha kong facts about him kasi yun lang sa tingin kong feeling ko may kinalaman yon why he explored those areas in positive psychology, no? As he experienced it himself. Now, the criticism of the positive psychology. May tatlo ko nilagay. And one of these is, now the field lacks the empirical evidence. Subjective daw yung ilan sa areas ng positive psychology. Pero sabi naman ni positive psychology na ginawa nila yon in a scientific and systematic way. And they use this measurement usually ginagamit ng mga ibang field sa psychology. Now, the approach is somewhat westernized. It primarily focuses on virtues and values that reflect individualism of American society. Yun. Masyado daw siyang westernized. And for the third one, ito yung sinasabi ko kanina na inote natin. But let's not stop there kasi sa part na yan may nangyayari.
Contrasting.
Positive psychology has also been criticized for rejecting, denying, and devaluing earlier works closely related to the field. Now, I quote, "Supporters of positive psychology hold that positive psychology theories are based on solid scientific evidence. They claim that these are superior to the humanistic theories, which lack supportive empirical evidence. On the other hand, some humanistic psychologists have criticized Seligman. They propose he is attempting to claim credit for decades of research conducted by his predecessors in humanistic psychology."
Do you ever look at someone and wonder what is going on inside their head?
Let's get ready to rumble!
Stop it. Get some help.
And that's the end of our discussion. So kung may tanong kayo or clarification, I will try my best para sagutin ang mga ayan. Thank you for watching and listening. And make sure to have a happy life.